Hi guys, today's video is the narcissist possessed? Yes? No. Maybe. I don't know. Honestly, guys, I don't know if they're possessed because I don't think I really have the authority to say that. Like basically, I don't know that. I think the only person that would know that would probably be like God himself or the devil himself. Whether somebody was like possessed by a demon or an evil spirit. Um because demons are supposed to come from like the underworld or hell or whatever like that. So I'm not like an expert on the subject or anything, but I think if anybody would know, it'd probably be God. So I can't really answer your question whether they're demon possessed or not. What I can tell you is that narcissistic personality is a cluster B personality, along with histrionic, borderline personality, and antisocial personality. There's 4 in the cluster B personalities: antisocial personality, borderline personality, narcissistic personality, and histrionic personality. And so basically, all those mental health conditions, they have pros and cons. It's not all bad. Just like I tell people, narcissism isn't all bad. There's some positives to it too. Like I think having an inflated self-esteem, I don't think of that as really being a bad thing. I think of having a good self-esteem as a good thing. But a lot of times what you're most likely seeing, guys, is those co-occurring disorders. Co-occurring disorders. Like, did you know that you can have narcissistic personality and antisocial personality? So if you have antisocial personality with narcissism, that's going to display a lot of behaviors that, could appear demonic. Like for example, people that are antisocial are very cutting. They're very cutting in their words, and they can be very hurtful and cruel with their words. Um, you know, like I'll just give you a quick example, right? One of my friends, I'm pretty sure she's a narcissist and antisocial. I kind of like hit her up the other day trying to be nice to her, and I hadn't talked to her for a long time. And she, this is like an ex-girlfriend of mine or something. And then she's like, she makes a comment, something like, boo-hoo to my feelings or something like that. And, how she's able to do that is most likely she has antisocial personality disorder. And with that, you're going to get the cutting words. You're going to get the rude behaviors. Look up antisocial personality disorder right now in Google. And you're going to see that, people like that, they do lash out. They do say things that are cruel. They do say things that are mean. They do say things that are selfish, because they don't have the empathy. That's the major empathy. A lack of empathy, guys, is going to be the major feature with quite a bit. I'm almost positive all 4. I know the only illness I haven't really studied a lot is histrionic, so I'm not going to say that I know a lot about it because I really haven't studied histrionic. That's a mental illness that I need to study more. But I have studied borderline personality tremendously, and I've dated some borderlines, so I definitely can identify red flags of borderline, stuff like that. But you can have co-occurring disorders, guys. What that means is you can have, multiple mental illnesses together, multiple different mental health problems together, like anxiety, PTSD. You could have anxiety and PTSD with narcissism, or you could have anxiety and PTSD with BPD. So you can have multiple co-occurring disorders. You could have BPD and have antisocial personality, or you could have antisocial personality and narcissism. And so I think like for example, I talk about my ex-girlfriend being very cutting in her words, being very rude in her words. She had zero empathy towards how, like, the words she made, the words she would say, she had zero empathy to how it made me feel. More than likely she has antisocial personality disorder. That's how she's able to say those things with a complete lack of empathy, with a complete disregard for my feelings, right? So more than likely she's co-occurring disorders. Like she might have, I'm not a doctor, so I can't officially diagnose her. I more or less just, go on rants. I'm her ex-boyfriend, so I go on rants of what I think her mental health conditions are. And she probably runs her mouth about me to her girlfriends too, Steve's crazy. He's this and he's that, and he's this and he's that. I'm schizophrenic, or I'm borderline, or I'm crazy, or I'm narcissistic. She's probably telling her sister that or something like that. But basically, if you run into people that are just super, super cruel in their words, that's the lack of empathy, guys. It's a major feature of antisocial personality disorder, borderline, narcissism. You're going to see a lot of that lack of empathy, and that's where you might see some behaviors that look demonic. They if they have antisocial personality, they might belt you in the face or something. That can feel demonic, but really it's just a symptom of their antisocial personality disorder, or a symptom of the narcissism, lack of empathy. So to answer your question, guys, whether narcissists are demon possessed, I can't really answer that question, guys, because I'm not God. I'm not Satan. So I can't really tell you fact for fact if they're possessed. I've actually had one comment on my video saying yes, they are possessed. And I totally, I'm one of those people. I think everybody has the right to their opinion. Basically, to me, if it can feel like that, it can actually feel like they're demon possessed. Like I hadn't talked to my ex-girlfriend for like 2 years, and then I hit her up on Facebook, just explaining to her, I missed her, etc., etc. And then, she wanted to give me like a boo-hoo. I think she might even have said boo-hoo on Facebook or something like that. That's a perfect example of the antisocial personality. Complete lack of regard for how I'd feel. Hadn't seen her for 2 years, was hoping to have a pleasant conversation with her. But, she explained it as she was having a PTSD episode. Just getting worked up, just her PTSD that day or whatever. And so she says that she lashed out at me because of her PTSD symptoms, and that's why she was being so cruel and cutting in her words. More than likely, she's without realizing it, she's just pushing me away. This is the same person that told me relationships trigger her, upset her. And, she's always known that I wanted to be a loving boyfriend to her, someone to care about her 100%. And she just pushed me away to the point where recently I've had to walk away. I actually, when I recently talked to her, I said, I'm not blocking you because I don't want you to talk to me. I'm blocking you so I stopped talking to you, because I can tell that you don't want a relationship with me. You don't want to, become good friends again. You have no interest in rekindling our friendship and, being a nice person. You have no interest in that. And so for me to just keep texting you is just pointless. So, I blocked her, not because I didn't want her to call me or talk to me. I blocked her so I'd stop sending her messages, because it's not fair to her for me to keep hitting her up if she's really not that interested, right? Because she says, with all her trauma in the past, she really just doesn't want a boyfriend because of her trauma. So she just wants to isolate. She just wants to be in an apartment by herself, And nowadays girls got good sex toys, so they don't even need men for sex. She missed out on such a good, she had a couple solid boyfriends. It wasn't just me, but she could have ended up with any solid boyfriend, and I would have been fine with that, even if it wasn't me. But, we would have had a great relationship together. I would have been so nice to her. I would have shown her that not all men are abusers, and she could have trusted me, I've never laid a finger on this girl, but I could not get past her trauma. And that's one thing that, some of you men out here, you might have to come to the realization. You might be dating someone that's borderline. You might be dating someone that's narcissist personality, or a girl that's BPD. And a lot of times these individuals have traumatic upbringings, which is going to make having a relationship hard. That's why it's your job as the boyfriend or the girlfriend. Let's say you started dating somebody. They might start putting up all kinds of walls. They might start pushing you away. But what you need to realize is it's more than likely not about you. It might be their anxiety causing them to push you away. It might be their post-traumatic stress disorder that's pushing you away. Let's say their last boyfriend beat the shit out of them, literally beat the shit out of them, or their last husband beat the shit out of them. Now they fear relationships. Like, for example, the same woman that I talk about all the time, the one I tell you that I love to death and I would have married and, I would have loved her unconditionally and, been there for 100%. basically she tells me that relationships trigger her, you know, and she can't go there. She can't go there because relationships trigger her, because in the past she was actually assaulted by a boyfriend. A boyfriend hurt her a lot. I think he punched her in the head a few times and gave her like a slight concussion. And he was telling her, "I love you." You know, he was saying, "I love you," and then at the end, he was domestically violent to her. So she started really fearing relationships, you know, and I don't even know about her childhood because she's never gotten into it to me. She's never told me what happened in her childhood. So all I'm going on is what I know. Like I know at least one or two men were physically violent to her. So now if she's going to meet a new man, in her mind, red flags are going off. Is this guy going to hurt me? Is this guy going to beat me up like my last boyfriend? You know, she's even thinking that with me, even though I've never once been, you know, domestically violent to her, never once hurt her. In her mind, she's thinking, is Steve going to hurt me? Even though that's not fair to me, right? Because I don't have any history of domestic violence. I don't have any history of hurting women, you know, but she's going to put me in that same boat in order to keep herself safe. That's why if you just started dating a man, if you just started, you know, dating a woman, or a woman, man, it doesn't matter. I have respect for all my viewers, no matter what their sexual orientations are, you know, within reason. Hopefully keep it, you know, normal. But, you know, I've seen Jerry Springer, you know, craziness like that. I don't really condone dating horses or anything like that. But, anyway, guys, my point is you might be dealing with someone that has major trauma. You know, they might have major trauma. And so, you know, you might start dating this person. Everything's fine for the first 3 days, and then they start pushing you away. You have to realize maybe it's not about you. You know, maybe it's not about you. But to answer, you know, today's questions about, you know, are they possessed by demons? You know, I can't answer that question because I'm not God, because I'm not the devil, so I can't give you a solid answer. You know, yes, I have seen spirits move objects. I've literally seen spirits move objects with my own eyes. In fact, I have a ghost video on this channel of a dish moving into my sink by itself because my last hollow wall apartment was haunted. And and then I moved to a new location, and the ghost was pushing my pill bottles on the floor. So do I believe in ghosts? Yes, I do actually believe in ghosts. Do I personally believe in demons? Yes, I personally do believe they exist, but I can't tell you that narcissists are demon possessed because I'm not God. I'm not the devil. So I can't tell you 100%, you know? And if one of my viewers, like I had a viewer leave a comment, they said that, you know, they feel like narcissists are demon possessed. Fine. You know, I respect your opinion. You know, I'll take any opinion, you know, into consideration. You know, but basically, guys, you know, don't let anything, you know, go to your head crazy or anything. You got to cut these people slack. Like I say, you know, the borderlines, the narcissists, you know, people like that, they've had a lot of abuse growing up, you know, physical, sexual, emotional. And so that's what causes them to lash out, guys. That PTSD causes them to lash out in order to keep themselves safe. So, you know, if they're pushing you away, it's more than likely that they're just anxious. They're just, you know, they're just scared. They're scared that, you know, another man might beat them up. So they start pushing you away in order to keep themselves safe. Maybe what you could do, honestly, is just back off for a while until they come to you, and just show her, yes, I am a safe person. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to abuse you. I'm not going to physically abuse you. You know, if you decide you don't want to date, so be it. I'll just date somebody else. You know, have the self-esteem to realize you're worth it. You know, if you're dating someone and it's not working out, you can date someone else and maybe it will work out, right? But anyway, guys, you know, that's pretty much wrapping up today's video. Is the answer, you know, my personal belief, you know, do I think they're possessed? I don't know. But I can tell you that they have a major, you know, narcissists and borderlines, you know, they have a major lack of empathy, which can, you know, make them say really, really cruel things, really hurtful things, really cutting things. You know, like when I hadn't talked to my ex-girlfriend for 2 years. This was recently. and I just, laid it on thick, that I cared about her and missed her and stuff. And I think she said something like boo hoo or something like that. And, she quickly apologized. She says just her PTSD, that, why she lashes out at men is her PTSD. So I wasn't mad at her or anything. I let it go, but I basically had to block her, so I stopped texting her because she told me relationships trigger her. So I can't win with that woman, so I just have to let her go. Fine, so and so. You don't want a boyfriend, you don't want a husband, fine. See ya. And I'll just date somebody else. I'll find another wife I can love. I'll find another girlfriend I can love. I'll find another girlfriend I can spoon feed ice cream in my bed. Anyway, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. Why do they act possessed? Because they have a cluster B personality, which includes a major lack of empathy, which is going to make them appear to do demonic behaviors like violence, demonic behaviors like cutting words, demonic words like cruel words, saying cruel things to you. If you like this video, guys, you can like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, Steve-O signing out.